Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of LEGO Set 10223, the Kingdoms Joust, as 1,575 pieces for ages 12 and up, and it's from the Kingdoms series, and this set retails for $119.99. And I would like to give a shout out to Epicness684, Kingdoms 1228, and the Soccer Guy Alec. They are the subscribers who had requested that I review this set, so everyone check out their channels. And moving forward, here in the front, we see a lot of celebrating over here, which is weird because these two guys didn't beat each other up yet. Anyway, here on the minifigures, more on that later. And here in the back, we see a party going down. But what's really interesting in the back here is that if you have the time and money, you can get two of these things and put it together. It looks like one of them just simply goes in the back over there, and then the rest go on the sides. Anyway, I'll talk about this set in more detail coming up. So, we have 9 minifigures in total. First up is the young Squire. And here he is. He looks pretty happy to be here. And it looks like he's rooting for the Lion Knight. Here are his details. He looks pretty poor. I like how he has a rope for a belt. And it doesn't look like he has much money in that little bag over there. So if you have any spare change, just toss into the bucket over here. Hopefully he will grow up to be a knight. Kind of like the Falcon Knight over here. Here's his face. Or maybe not, because this guy looks like he has some trouble growing up. Probably something happened when he was a child, who knows. Anyway, all that aside, this guy looks really cool. I even like how they made the lance too. I like how they added these 2 extra parts here. Really neat. And here's a close look at the armor. Now, if you guys ever wanted a black knight or a dark knight, then this is the one you want to get, because this one is pretty much black and silver all around with a little bit of gold. And there's the back. And this body armor right here, I think, is exclusive to the set. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. And here's what's underneath, which is the same as you get from those Dragon Knights. And he comes with a really cool looking horse too. There it is. And that's also exclusive to the set. And everything looks good. Just don't take the helmet off, because now this horse looks dumb and confused. It doesn't look like a fierce warhorse to me. Anyway, if all goes well, hopefully that Squire will grow up to be like the Lion Knight over here. Now, he's got the same exact armor as the one you get from the Prison Tower Rescue. The only difference is that he's a little more handsome now. The other one was, well, let's just say he should keep his helmet on. And there it is. And just to show you what's underneath the armor. There we go. It's pretty cool looking. And he gets a horse. And it's also the same one from the Prison Tower Rescue. It's a little different from the King's horse because it has a different printing over here. And there we go. Next we have the princess. And here she is, the prize of the jousting over here. That was back when women were still treated like objects. And she should feel offended. There's only 2 guys competing for her. And she's pretty good looking. I would have expected the entire kingdom to be here. But, oh well. And there are her details. She's holding this green frog here, who could be the real prince. Who knows? Just haven't kissed him yet, and I can understand why. Kissing frogs is just gross. Next we have the nobleman. At first I thought this guy was the prince, but then again, he doesn't look like he has any resemblance of the king or the queen. So he's not related. So he's a nobleman, and here he is. He's got a big bag of pennies inside. And there's the back. And here's a closer look at his face. And here we have the king. Now this is the same exact one that you get from the king's carriage. So nothing new here. And he's holding a drink. And who could blame him? He's about to give his daughter away today. And the details are the same. He's got a lion in his pants. And no, I'm not trying to compliment the king. That just sounded bad anyway. And there's the back. Next up, surprisingly, is the queen. For those of you who have been collecting kingdom sets, you'll probably notice that there was never a queen. Even in the king's castle, there was only 1 seat in the throne room. There was no chair for her. Although I do wonder how the king had a daughter. It's not like a stork dropped her off. But anyway, here she is. Actually, there was a queen in the Kingdoms Advent calendar in 2010, but that time she had black hair. This one has brown hair, so I guess the king got remarried. And this one comes with a crown. It attaches in that hole in her head. Pretty interesting. Here's a close look at her details. And she has an alternate face where she's pretty upset. And there's the back printing. Now, what I like about the back printing is that it can also serve as a printing for the front torso. Let me show you what I mean. Let me just get my favorite Baywatch Babe. Let me just borrow these real quick. And there we go. Yeah, I think that could work. Looks like something out of the Victoria's Secret catalog. All we need now is some anti-aging cream. And then we can say, Happy Holidays to me. And there we go. Yeah, I think that could work. Just gotta switch the arms out. And now the queen's gonna go missing again. And finally, we have the two royal guards. And here they are in the same uniform. And there's the back. The faces are different. This guy is smiling, probably because he knew what I was talking about earlier. And this guy has a goatee. Either that or he missed a spot when he was shaving. And he has an alternate face. And that's the expression you would have when you find out that your electric shaver runs out of power. But what can you do? You still have to go to work. Here, maybe this will help. Now nobody cares. There we go. And here is the Kingdoms Joust. And this thing looks spectacular. I mean, it's just amazing. I guess I'll start with the accessories first because there's a lot to talk about over here. The first thing you get to build is this fence, which looks pretty self-explanatory. The only thing worth noting is the middle here where they have the shields. This way the competitors know which side they go on and compete. And they'll be competing for the princess, who happens to be all the way up there. I think she should be down here because personally I think that if I were to compete, I like to see the goods first before I, risk my life out there. I might break my back, Well, not necessarily check the goods up, but at least just to see if she's pretty. Well, you know what I mean. Anyway, that's pretty interesting. Next you go to build these two tents. Now what's odd about the tents here, well, the tent for the Lion Knight is okay. Here it is all around. It's all red and white and stripes. It's a pretty simple design. And inside we have a holder for the mace. Got two flags on top. There's the bottom. Now the tent for the Falcon Knight is a little weird because if I remember right, the Falcons had a blue and black color with some silver. This one's in dark green, which is the Dragon Knight's color. So I think they made a mistake over here. But just want to point that out. And because they don't really make these kind of bricks in dark green, they use this kind of design instead, which is a lot more simpler. And it looks okay for the most part. And inside you have a battle axe for your chopping pleasure. Next is the royal viewing box, and oh, whoops. She's not supposed to be there. Looks like the king is trying to get a third wife. Reminds me of King Henry. Sorry about that, your fantasy. I mean, your majesty. I can see why she's upset there. Well, it's probably a good thing that there's a big bottle of something strong next to her. She's going to need that. That should help with the pain, because her husband likes to eat cherries. Oh, that almost came out bad. Well, anyway, here's a closer look. It's actually a pretty cool design. It's simple too, but it looks really good too. Here it is all around. We have some steps so you can get up there. And there's the back. Here's a close look on the inside. Pretty neat, right? It's a small little structure. And there we go. We have the opposing flags on the top. Here's the main building, and this thing looks gorgeous. And there it is, going up and down. Pretty neat, right? We'll start the side buildings first because you get to build those before the main course. Over on this side we have a little platform where the squire goes, and that's where he stores his tools. He's got a fork in here for who knows what, probably to stack up some hay for the horses. And I guess he helps the opposing sides. There's only one squire available here anyway. It's like a pit crew. And these can kind of open up all the way, like that. It kind of allows you some flexibility if you decide to go modular with this thing. And here's the other side. This is like the old-fashioned box seat. Okay, and there's the nobleman holding his bread in a really improper manner. I didn't do that on purpose. That just looks weird. So let me just fix that. So anyway, and here's the back side to that. It's actually just a room with a small little table, and you have a bottle of something strong in there too, which is typical of box seats. Luxury at its best. And now for the front side of the main building. Here we have two guards. I have no idea why they're guarding the door. There's really nothing behind there, at least nothing of value, in my opinion. Here we have the balcony where the princess room is, and that window is okay. And this whole top section here can be removed. Just wiggle it a little bit, and there it is. It's only attached by very few studs over there. Why would they do that? I have no idea. I think it's just so that it's easier to build and stack. And this can probably just use as a bridge or something, I don't know. Also, this part over here can be opened up like that, which is not supposed to, but you can do it. So if you want to put it on the ground, it can probably serve as a door, whatever you like. Be inspired. Okay, and there we go. Here's the back side of the building, and I guess I'll start with the top. The first thing I want to talk about are these holes over here. That's what you use to attach to another one of these on the back side over here. And you just need a few extra pegs. They have that at the bottom too, over here and here. And then once you're done with that, you can replace these parts and move it kind of like right there. This way you connect the towers together. So, I mean, you'll get the idea once you see the back of the box a little more closely. And now, over here it's pretty hollow, but over here there's a rat and there's a piece of cheese. I honestly have no idea how he got in there because there's really no way in there. So whatever. On the third floor we have a table, and this one's pretty interesting. They use 4 frogs as legs, and there's your table. Honestly, if this was in real life I wouldn't buy it because it kind of looks ugly, but it is an interesting design. Over on this side we have the makeup room for the queen. Looks like we have some perfume bottles in there and a stool, which is odd because the way the queen stands up, she might be a little weird sitting on that thing, so don't really need that. And right below it is the princess's room. We have a drawer over there that doesn't open, pretty plain. Over on this side we have a room for a really important book because that's the only thing in there. Now we come down to the first floor. As I said, there's nothing in here, but over there we have that picture that you get from the Brick Friday and the Holiday exclusive set. So if you missed out on it, you get that picture frame over here. And on this side we have the map of the 4 golden weapons from Ninjago. Must be an heirloom that they passed down from generation to generation, who knows. And there it is. And now to talk about one more feature. And finally, I would like to talk about this feature right here. This is what makes it modular, and it is compatible with the King's Castle. So if you want to build something bigger, you can, and it's actually a lot of fun too. Let me just show you guys a few examples. Now, as far as my recommendations go, well, what can I say? This set is so good it almost doesn't need a review. Value-wise, we're looking at 7.6 cents a piece, so that's really good. In the end, there are a lot of strengths about this thing. There's really nothing wrong with it. I mean, it does take a long time to build, but I don't see that as a bad thing. And this thing is just simply beautiful. It almost passes off as a display piece because you have these nice little flowers here and all these little intricate details. I mean, not just for a wall unit too, it would probably look good on a railroad track. I can totally see a train going through that. That would look so awesome. Now granted, there were no trains back then, but look at today. We still have castles and we have trains, so why not, right? And plus, since this thing is modular, I really hope that LEGO makes more Kingdom sets just like this, where it's kind of compatible and you can just expand and build a bigger castle. I think that can totally be the next modular series. And I have heard rumors that there may be another Kingdom set in 2012, so who knows? This is definitely one of those sets that you can buy and hold, and you can never go wrong with it. And that's it. That sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.